Here I am again, fellow members. This is video 11. It was recorded on the 24th of September. There's been significant progress, and you're going to see some very exciting views of the first 4 holes that were completed and seeded prior to this video. But first, we're going to start in the construction zone. Here we are right over the new 8th green. You'll see that a new bunker has been dug in the right front. There will not be a bunker in the left front of the green. Looks like a bunker in the back left of the green, which is new on the hillside. You'll also see over to the right where the area for the cart path has been roughed in. It will go through the tunnel, of course, from 1 to 2, but come down 8 and up around 8 to the 9th tee. You'll see that the green has its gravel in place. That means all the drainage is done underneath, and you'll see the first piles of greens mix being ready to spread. Now we move over to the second tees and we fly low off the second tee up toward the green. Notice the natural area, several new trees planted in that natural area down low between tee and green on 2 and 6. As we get closer to the green, you see a lot of completed drainage work in that area. Then you'll see the new bunkers. The front bunker has been lined. The other 3 bunkers around the left side have their drainage underneath, but the liner is not yet there. The reverse boomerang green shape is visible as we come up overhead. And now we're back over the 6 tees, heading up toward the 6th green. Again, flying over the natural area, which is going to be very interesting. The sand down there is not bunker sand. I think it's our old bunker sand that we're just putting in for drainage in this area, which will be very natural. It won't be turf grass. Come up to the green, you see the bunkers are dug and drainage is installed in the bunkers, capping around the bunkers. The green has been built. It's very comparable in size to the green we used to have. More open green surrounds, but a very nice look at the green on this short par 3. We're back briefly over the top of the second green, looking at it again. See the cart path that comes up around the right-hand side. It'll be a continuous path from the tee around the right side of the hole and up around the number 3 teeing area on the right-hand side. A few new oaks have been planted just left of the bunkers on number 3. This is looking back toward the natural area, toward the second tee and the 6th green, from right over the second green, about head high. So this is what it might look like when we look back in that direction while walking across the second green. Now we're up on the 3rd tee. You'll see that the first tees are getting their sand capping installed. You'll see drainage that has been installed to be underneath the forward tees on this hole. You'll see the cart path is complete all the way out to the end of the front tees, and then we'll be able to drive carts right onto the fairway. The fairway's been somewhat reshaped on the 3rd hole, but you'll notice now it is almost smooth. It has all of the capping sand in place, the lighter tan in the fairway, a little darker color down the roughs on both sides. This means that all of the irrigation and drainage were complete on number 3. This hole is just about ready to be planted with hydroseed not too long after this video was taken. As we come over the hill and down toward the lowest part of the fairway before going up to the green, notice how the hole flows more to the right. The fairway bunker's on the left where it used to be on the right. It's open around farther to the right, much more open hillside with many trees having been removed. Bunkers up, actually a new McKinsey bunker somewhat short of the green, then 3 greenside bunkers. The green surround was being sand capped. You see the new sand having been placed there. It hasn't been completely smoothed out yet. The green itself has its mix in place. Coming off the fourth tee, you'll see the cart path on the left. We fly over the natural area, trees planted in that area. Again, some of our old bunker sand there on top of the drainage. That won't be a bunker. It will be a very natural area. This fairway was nearly ready for seeding as well. You see how it's smoothed out with all the capping sand in place. Fairway bunker at the top of the hill is finished. Much more open look on both the right and left of the fourth hole. More open over toward the 16th fairway. In fact, those two fairways connect with one another. See a few new trees to the left around the cart path between these McKenzie bunkers and the fifth tees. As you get closer to the green, you see that new front green side bunker. You see the more friendly green surrounds on the front left, back right, all the way around the back of the green. A new smaller bunker behind the green. The green smoothed out and ready for planting. Now the exciting part. Here's the 11th hole from the tees. This was filmed 18 days after the seed was initially laid on top of the sand. An amazing amount of grass has grown in that 18-day period. You'll see the ryegrass in the rough is actually getting quite thick and tall. The bent grass in the fairways, the lighter colored green grass, is thinner, but still a significant stand of grass has already popped up during that brief growing period. Nice to be growing during the month of September. As we come up to the top of the hill, you see how the bunker is nicely set in the top left side of this fairway. More open fairway out to the right than we've had. Coming down the hill, again about head high. This is what the hole's going to look like as we walk down the middle of the fairway. The fairway is somewhat smoother than it used to be. It doesn't have quite the steep dips and hollows in it. Come down toward the green, you'll see that the green has not yet completely filled in with the bent grass planted there. There's a bare spot that hasn't taken in the fairway just short and right of the 11th green. All of that will happen in due course. The bunkers around the left and the one in the very back of this green, new area to the back left where the green bends around a bit there. Now we're on the 12th hole, flying over the new cart path, which goes around the left side. The tees have been planted. This hole had only been growing in for 16 days, but you'll see that it's got a very substantial stand of grass as well. Notice how the right-hand side is not all turf grass. There's a natural landscaped area in there. As we come down the hill, you'll notice an occasional new tree on the left, more new trees up separating this hole from the 13th green, but no fairway bunker. Actually a significantly wider and more open fairway area in the landing area on the new design of the 12th hole. I think you'll join me in really appreciating the fact that we don't have a cart path running across this fairway anymore. The look is significantly better. You'll see them running one of the irrigation heads on the right-hand side as we get closer to the green. You'll see the McKenzie, or perhaps we should call it Fleming-style bunker, short and right of the green. That's new. As you get up toward the green, again, you see how much more open this green will play with a very friendly right-hand green surround that will kick balls down toward the green. The left bunker in front has been moved farther left. This green had grown in nicely, actually was looking even better at this point than the 11th green. Now we're over 13. Number 13 was planted only 12 days before the video was taken. You'll see there was still irrigation going in around these tees. You'll also notice there the cart path area was roughed in. No cart path had been built here as they needed to still use that as a haul road for materials farther out. There's some irrigation lines in that landscaped area between tees. As you get closer to the green, you'll notice how much more friendly that right-hand slope is, and the green slopes right to left. This is a classic design of a Redan style par 3. The green's actually wider right to left and has been moved somewhat to the left from where it used to be. And the hillside on the right is going to allow us to play off of that side down onto the green. Here we are on 14. 14 had been planted 14 days prior to this video. You'll see substantial stands of grass. Here's the area where the cart path does continue past the tee up to the forward tee, and then it will end. We get to the fairway. You see the bent grass in the fairway. It was starting to grow nicely. Much more open fairway as we get up in the landing area. No significant hump on the left, no cart path on the left until you get very close to the green. The bunkering short of and then around this green is quite similar to the way the 14th hole was laid out before. In fact, I would guess this green and the contours of the green are perhaps the most similar of any of the holes that have been renovated during this exercise. Notice how much more open it is on the left and right, some new landscaping on the right, some new trees and shrubs planted up on that side to beautify that area. We're back on the 15th tee. Starting from the back tee, you see the cart path along the left side. The tees have been capped. The final cart path is entirely in place here. Comes down again between the two front tees and stops as it gets to the fairway. Notice how open it is on the right-hand side toward the 16th fairway. Much more open than it used to be. We used to have long, tall groves of redwoods there. The redwoods that are still there are still in position to protect balls from flying into the players coming up that next hole. The fairway is a bit smoother here as well after the shaping was done. The capping looks smooth. This hole is almost complete and ready for planting. Probably getting ready to test the irrigation and fine-tune it before the actual seed goes down. When you get to the green, you notice a large front right bunker, but no bunker on the back of the green, and a more friendly green surround to the left of the putting surface. Doesn't have that low dip that we used to have to the left of the 15th green. We proceed to 16. Again, we fly over the tees and the natural area. Don't be fooled, that's not a bunker. That's going to be natural. There'll be landscaping in there and very natural, infrequently planted tufts of grass. We get to this fairway, similar to both 15 and 4. The capping has been completed, meaning all the drainage and irrigation is in place. Just a little bit of smoothing of the tire tracks takes place as they finally get ready to seed. A few new oaks on the left side, separating it from 15, and a few new oaks closer to the green, separating this hole visually from the 4th green, which is on the left. Our big oak trees, short and right and just left of this green, are still in place, looking healthy. They've all been trimmed. That tree on the right that used to overhang the green has been trimmed back, so those shots are not going to get tangled up in the oak tree. The green was finished, completely smooth and ready. Moving along to the 5th hole, we're flying over the tees where the capping has been done. As you get down to the fairway area, you see substantial work had been completed on irrigation and drainage, although it was far from complete. The work is basically just underway at the time of this video. You see a trench with gravel along the right side. That's the main irrigation line running up to this hole. Some of the lateral drainage lines have been carved. One bunker on the left in the landing area. Deep trenches being dug for drainage and irrigation. Drainage pipe ready to be installed. We get farther down, not as much progress had taken place yet in the low part of the fifth fairway. You can see work had begun. The rough shaping of the fairways is pretty much done, solving some old drainage problems in these pits that had to be dug out to tear out our old, no longer functional drainage. There's only one fairway bunker. The one on the left in the 120-yard area from the green's been removed. There is a similar Mackenzie Fleming bunker short and left. And as we get to the green, you'll see some irrigation and drainage trenching around the green, and you also notice this upside down L-shaped green, a very different design and shape than we used to have. One bunker in the back left, one bunker in the corner of the upside down L. Should be a very interesting challenge. Also notice how open 3 and 5 are to one another as the trees have been thinned out in those groves that used to continuously separate those holes. We move over to number 18. The tees have their sand capping in place. The area for the new cart path is roughed in on the left, but not anywhere close to finished. This fairway had some irrigation and drainage work just beginning at the time of this video. But as you can see, it's still pretty rough. Lots of work left to be done on number 18. We come up into the landing area off the tee. You see the bunkers are now staggered. They used to be pretty much side to side. This creates lateral flow and more room to play depending on how long you can hit the drive. Coming past the last of the fairway bunkers, we move into the second half of the fairway. Again, you see some corrective trenches where we had to dig out old drainage or irrigation. You see some irrigation and drainage being prepared for installation as we get closer to the green. You see a trench for main irrigation line running the last 100 yards or so up toward the green on the left. You see the new bunkering around the green. The bunkers were complete. A major trench coming along in front of this green for a main irrigation and drainage line. The green shaping is all done. This is what an irrigation trench, a mainline irrigation trench looks like. It's very impressive how deep and wide the trenches have to be to properly build the infrastructure underneath a golf course. And we finished today on the range. You can see some rough shaping has taken place. We still had a few trees staged on the range. Those are going to be moved soon so that the rest of the range shaping can be completed. Quite impressively, the lower part of the range, which last time we looked had just gigantic mounds of dirt, it's all been smoothed out except for a patch over here on the right they were still working on. The elevation of the lower part of the range must be a good 6 or 8 feet higher than it used to be. So our range will feel less downhill than it used to be. Our old range net was still there, but new range net will be installed, taller, more attractive. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed your tour from the 24th of September, video 11. Progress is moving right along, and it's great to see that grass growing, isn't it? That's it for today. Thanks.